All right. Lyndall Allen in the hot seat.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to We Are the Table. I'm very excited to have you. This is also quite short notice, so I appreciate you dropping everything to coming in. We are actually in Newcastle. I've come up to Newcastle, and we have been working together for the last few months. And I see everything on socials. Powerhouse team, all women.
You bet.
Yep. And I wanted to dig a little bit deeper and, get to know the real you. So, how and why real estate? When did it start? What was the love affair like?
So the love affair kind of happened by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So went through high school. Wasn't very good at school.
Okay.
Not too naturally bright. Put it this way, I got 45 in my TER, as it was back then, which is, my kids think is horrendous. And my parents were proud they put an ad in the paper, which is quite embarrassing. But I had to work really hard to do well at school.
Okay.
Just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
So I got into uni to become a preschool teacher.
Well, you must have done pretty well if you got into uni.
Oh, I think I scraped
Okay.
my way in there.
Yeah.
But I decided I'd have like a bit of a gap year and just work in the industry. So I got a job as a full-time preschool assistant and absolutely loved it. But the pay was horrendous. I think it was like $350 a week. And I quickly realised that I was willing to work hard and that I wanted a job where that hard work was rewarded.
Yeah.
So I started to think about what that could be, and real estate came to mind. So I literally just went and volunteered at a local real estate office, and 2 weeks later they offered me a full-time job, and that was 28 years ago.
28 years ago. And was that up here in Newcastle or still?
No, that was in Penrith where I grew
Okay.
up. So I grew up on acreage, and I started my career selling acreage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
which was,
niche.
yeah, they literally, it's so different to now. Like, here's a desk, here's the yellow pages, call and get some business. And no real training. 19 was very young, and as a female particularly. But I just absolutely fell in love with it. I felt like I had a natural gift to the gab, and I liked the chase, and I liked working with people and the homes. And then I went on to do my real estate license and my auctioneer. I finished that when I was 21, and then travelling was calling. So I moved to London.
Wow.
Fell in love, met my husband.
And he's originally from the UK?
He is a Kiwi.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, typical Antipodean thing. And then, we just travelled for 4 years and worked and came back and straight back into real estate and haven't stopped doing it since then.
So then when did you make the move to Newcastle?
We came back in end of 2004 and moved to Newcastle 2006. I've been here 20 years this year.
Okay. So 20 years ago, you've obviously seen Newcastle change considerably in that time.
Yes.
It is, in my view, very underrated. Although I'm a Sydney girl through and through, I have friends that live up here and come up quite often and I love it. I love the beaches area. I could never pull my husband out of Sydney, I don't think. Okay, so at what point did you have children then in your career?
So got married in 2007, had Carter, my first child, in 2009. And then 16 months later, had my second child, Heathy Pops, and was still working. Like, I remember when I was finishing up at my job, one of the guys said, "When are you coming back?" And I was like, "I'm not coming back. I'm going to be a mum." Like, I just
Was
never...
this after the birth of the second?
No, this was when I was
first.
pregnant with the
Oh,
first.
okay.
And I don't know if it's because I had like a stay-at-home mum, and I obviously really love children, and I just thought that would be my life, and I honestly thought that was it. But I think Carter was, I don't know, 3 months old, and I had a listing, and I just couldn't help myself. I remember taking him to show properties in the baby capsule. People didn't care.
Of course. Yeah.
If you built the relationships, then they want you and they don't mind how you make it work. And I genuinely love what I do, and I'm really good at what I do, but I didn't think it was possible with babies. But so I had my two sons, and then I had my daughter in 2000, and I should really know this much better than what I do, 2013. So I had 3 kids in just over 4 years.
Crazy. And so then you were working full time?
No, so when Chelsea came along, and I had them all at home, no one was at school, then I took 18 months off and was just a full-time mum, which I'm really grateful that I had that time. And you know what real estate's like. It is a hard job. You kind of need to be all in or all out.
Yeah.
And with the 3 kids at home, that was my time to be all in for them. And then I think Chelsea was... she was about 18 months old, and she started at daycare 2 days a week. And then that became 3 days pretty quick, and just got straight back into it and really, really loved it. So I wasn't completely full-time, but I probably within 18 months I was back full-time.
And so you've only ever done the sales side of things. You had never dabbled in property management?
No, I've never done property management. I've never done sales support, back of house. I've never been a sales associate. I've always been a lead, so quite unusual.
So then you're working elsewhere, and then what happens for you to come up with the idea of Salt and to start it? Tell us a little bit about that journey.
So it kind of came out of nowhere. Where I worked before, I was there for 16 years, so a really long time. And we did take 2 years off and went travelling as well. My dad passed away when my daughter was born, and it made us really kind of reevaluate everything.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to spend time with the kids. So we took off travelling around Australia. We were meant to go for 10 months, and we ended up becoming like influencers, travel bloggers.
Really?
Yeah. And so we ended up going for 2 years, and we ended up doing 6 months around New Zealand as well. So yeah, it's been a pretty full life.
Were you paid to do that?
Yeah, we were.
How fun.
So we, like in the beginning we weren't.
Yeah.
But we did it like 2017. So it was before it was really a thing. So we were probably one of the first families that took a caravan to the tip of Cape York and blogged about it and that sort of thing.
That's exciting.
So, yeah, I was really grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I said that I would never get back into that mad headspace of real estate, but here we are.
So then you get back from travelling for those years, and then how was Salt born?
Yeah, so got back in 2019 and then got straight back into it. It was actually really surprising. I did, real estate, you very much are only as good as your last sale. And I think the beauty of being a mum and all the travelling is I've really had to learn how to reinvent myself so many times and create a niche, but work incredibly hard, but also nurture those relationships so they keep coming back.
Yep.
So Newcastle was really good to me and very quickly got traction. So the end of 2021, it was probably in the back of my mind for a good 4 months, maybe a bit longer. It was just time for me to go. Where I was, they had been amazing to let me come and go and work really well, but I could just see that real estate was changing, and it was changing into more of a modern approach, and we weren't necessarily changing with it, but also the company that I was with, a lot of the agents there had been there for 20 odd years, and they had and so they should. They had owned these areas. It was very hard for me.
And the clients and all those politics.
Really hard to break through.
Yeah.
But originally I thought, look, I'm just going to work from home. Maybe even I only have to sell half the amount of properties to make the same amount of money, spend more time with the kids. And Salt was born. It was 100% one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. I did have offers to join 3 other agencies in partnership. But someone said to me, you're going to work just as hard if you go and work as a partner. Why not do it for yourself? And it was really good advice. It was scary as hell, but grateful for it.
Did you have were you an employee or a contractor at the previous
I was employed, but commission only, like debit,
Yeah.
credit.
Were there any issues with you starting your own in terms of like restraints or?
No, my previous employer, he was amazing. He was really great, and he was grateful for the 16 years that I had given him. They were disappointed to see me go because I'd obviously been incredibly loyal for a really long time, and I was also the only female there. So, but it was time to go.
So let's tap into that for a second. Only female there. What was that like? Especially as a working mum with 3 small kids, did you find that it was difficult to relate to them? Or if, you get that phone call that the kids are sick and you got to drop everything to go pick them up, did you ever have any of those struggles?
Oh, 100%. Like, I think I used to always say to the boys, just to get my butt on the seat, I felt like I had been battling just to get to work, you know.
Yeah.
Get
that
3
morning
kids,
rush.
3 kids to school or to daycare, get the 3 lunches, and then someone's forgot the hat, or then I can't find my shoe, and then like just to.
And what's your husband doing in all this
Yes,
at all that time?
he was working as a mechanic, so he was gone by 6.
Okay.
So the morning was all me.
Yeah.
And then I have to be, full suit, hair, makeup, and have breakfast and then get to work. And the guys would rock in with the same suit and pick one tie and their coffee, and I was like, man, you guys don't get, like, not they didn't get it, but it is a lot harder for a working mum, 1,000,000%. But I do believe that when mums and women come to work, they're there to work because they're sacrificing time away from their family. And I just made sure when I was there, I went as hard as I could.
I actually wrote something on LinkedIn the other day. Last week, I won an award.
What did you win? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I won an award, but the premise was it Returner of the Year. So, a mother returning to work after having a child.
That.
And I was like, if you need something done, give it to a working mum, because
100%.
the productivity that I can get things done in between nap times, like when my daughter goes down for a nap at 12:30 until 2:30, I'm doing 50 million things in that 2-hour break. Like, we just are a different breed.
I agree, and I think that's only helped me throughout my career, and having my business. I have a capacity to get a lot done, and work really hard because I've kind of always had to. Always had to fight for my place, and I think that's helped me along. It's helped me now.
So you start Salt solo, and very quickly start picking up some traction. How big is your team now?
Got 23 now, and we're hiring for another couple. So we'll probably be, by September, I think we'll be at about 25, 26 maybe.
And property management?
Property management I started about 18 months ago. So it's all sales except for 2 for property management.
Okay.
And support.
So you start PM 18 months ago. What's that portfolio looking like?
So we've got about 120 at the moment.
All organic?
All organic,
Wow.
yeah. So we haven't been, creating the BDM. It's the sales part has been gone completely crazy. So Reagan, my property manager, she's incredible. She has just grabbed it and ran with it, and we will look more at growing the PM side, but it's pretty much all just from like relationships and recommendations and past sales so far. So it's going good, but it's also an area I don't know. So I'm very much learning as I go.
Yeah. So the decision to be all female, has that been intentional or just by accident?
By accident.
Okay.
Yeah, but the whole thing's been by accident. Like I say, it was it was just going to be me. Like if you would have said to me in 4 years you're going to have 20 plus staff, I'd be like, no way. So it's all happened really organically. Started in the front of my house. We had 4 staff in there. Then we moved into a granny flat, and then we got up to 6 staff then. And at that stage, I had 1 lead agent. I had a sales associate and, your back end support as well. And then I think I got to, about 7 in the team. And then I had a male agent reach out to me And he was awesome, and he really wanted to come and join Salt. And we quickly became this all-female team, and it was a niche for the city. And I remember speaking to my real estate mindset coach, and I said, I need to make a decision here. Do I want to keep going down the all-female, or do I want to, bring on another good earner for the business? And he said to me, well, you've just got to make a decision. Are you here to create a legacy, or are you here to, make as much money as you can? And so it was pretty easily the legacy piece, like, it kind of stabbed me a bit in the heart. And I was like, wow, that would be amazing if I could create a space for women in this industry in our town, single mums, all. Yeah, so that was the end of Boys in Salt. Not that they ever actually. No, that's not true. The only person I've ever sacked was a boy. He was my third employee, and I brought him on as a trainee, and he was beautiful, but yes, he wasn't the right.
Just not cut out for it.
Yeah, he just wasn't for him, I don't think.
Okay, so I think you've covered off what is the best piece of advice. There was a couple of really good points you mentioned throughout. Obviously, your mindset coach saying, like, legacy. And one thing that I wanted to comment on that is in our dealings, and obviously I'm coming at it from a legal point of view, I don't think I've come across any other agent who is so focused on reputational excellence. And in every single dealing that we have, it's like, okay, well, what is a benefit to the client? I want the client to leave with a good experience. I want the client to be satisfied irrespective of the outcome, whatever it may be. And that's so rare.
Oh, thank you.
It's so rare. And you really do practice what you preach. Your values on your website and that you put on social media and everything, you are one of the few that actually practices what you preach, which is so refreshing. And especially because you are so pro-female as well.
Yeah.
Which leads me to our next point about the industry as a whole. What do you think are the most common myths or misconceptions that real estate agents have to deal with?
I think everyone thinks it's easy. And when the market's flying, and you're seeing sales signboards going up and a sold sticker the next day, they think, like, how hard can it be to sell a home? But certainly the industry has changed dramatically in the last 28 years I've been in it, and I think it's a lot harder than what people realise, and it actually takes a lot more skill. But I think as well, it's 24/7, and it doesn't have to be, but if you want to be at the top of your game, it does kind of take over your life. I know it doesn't have to, but it never ends.
Yeah.
It's not like we clock off at 5 o'clock and the phone doesn't ring Saturday and Sunday, and so it is a lot harder than what people think.
Yeah. Well, look, if we're texting, it's normally later on in the day because I know your day has been absolutely flat out. So, yeah, I agree.
And you'll always answer. Thank you for that.
But, that's the real estate agent in me as well. Like, I'm aware of what that industry is like. Okay, so what has been your experience as a woman in the real estate industry overall?
Look, overall, I would say it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
I think starting out young as a woman, like, I haven't had terrible experiences in the workplace with men or anything like that. I have definitely felt that there has always been a difference there. I think it would potentially be in any workforce where it's, the men dominate the workforce and you might not get the equal share of the pie. That's probably the thing that I used to feel the most, like, oh, how come I didn't get that, and how come they got this? So I sometimes felt like it was a bit unfair, jobs for the boys and all of that stuff. In, like, the early days in my career and as a young woman, I think it was harder to win over certain demographics of sellers, to get them to invest in you. So, but I do think that's because it was incredibly rare to have a female agent 20 years ago, and I think that's definitely changing now.
Do you find that you know, when you're going out and appraising properties, that it's often, if it's a couple that are selling for whatever reason, it's the woman's making the decision.
Yeah, so generally the woman, I've dived deep into this.
Okay.
The woman is the one that generally will be the one that does the research to find the agents. And I would say it's probably 60 to 70% of the times that a female is the one that makes at least that initial contact,
Yep.
and will take you through the home. But it's probably a mixture of both, I think,
Okay.
depending of the level of what the property is. Like,
Yeah.
it's, you know, a big multi-million-dollar home, you're sitting down with both. But, yeah, I think a lot of the times the women, that is their domain and it's their home. And we get a lot of business purely for being a woman, I have to say. Even from men and women, I've really felt the support as a female business owner in Newcastle. Everyone has wanted to get behind me, but as a female exclusive business, like the amount of times people will go, "Oh, I love that you're all women."
Yeah.
So again, it's going back to having that niche, and I think like even learning through the travel blogging, social media was the reason why we got paid to travel. So it was taking that niche and then putting that into my real estate business and trying to be front of mind and
Look, I don't think I've seen anybody else jump on little trampolines to get that image of the sold sticker. I love it.
Yeah, you've got to.
Didn't you jump into a pool recently?
Yes, I did. Yes, fully clothed.
Did you have a change of clothes in the car at least?
No.
Oh, so that's spontaneous.
No, well, yes and no. I literally went straight home and got changed, but I wasn't that organised. But like social media, for me, that's a tool where you get to show your personality and you get to connect. Real estate is an incredibly polished business. And by showing the rawness of the properties, and you would have seen our very unedited versions of, "Hey guys, got this new house, come and have a look." People love that. But it's also giving you an opportunity to connect with people. So if you get 50,000 views, that's an opportunity to connect. Instead of sitting down one-on-one, you get that. But it's about being top of mind. And I think by being raw and honest and, you know, doing silly things like jumping and pools and signs, you kind of build a bit of trust, I think, with people when they're seeing you unedited.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love your socials.
Thanks.
Okay, so who have been your biggest influences in your career?
Real estate-wise, there's probably not too many, to be honest. Like, my very first ever boss, his name was Paul Pace. He was amazing. I remember watching him in the car, and he would like hang up, like his phone just went crazy, or would go and look at a property and would get in the car and he'd have, 6 missed calls, and I'd be like, wow. And just the way that he dealt with people, and he built the relationships, and he communicated, and he had fun whilst he was doing it. So he was amazing. Sonia Walkham from this city, she's another female that really dominated in the area. I really looked up to her as well. But I think just my parents, my dad had a business and my mum worked in the business. I think just seeing the influence of watching them work and how they treated their staff, and I think that's been a big influence too.
Nice. What are your daily non-negotiables? Have a sip of water. You're talking a lot. My apologies.
Daily non-negotiables, my goodness.
Are you like part of the 4 a.m. club or?
No, I wish I was.
Oh, really?
I'm Pilates is my thing.
Yep.
I've been to Pilates this morning. Did not want to get up, but I try and get there as often as I can, whether that's 3 times or 4 times a week. I just have to make time to make that happen. Non-negotiables. I don't really know.
Phone at dinner?
Yeah, we try and sit down as a family.
Yeah.
Definitely no phones at dinner. Even little things like I've got to get a kiss and cuddle from my husband and the kids before they go to school. I guess you call that a non-negotiable, but it's just a habit.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure.
Coffee?
Oh, hell yes. 2 coffees.
2, okay.
Yes, 2 coffees. Oh, morning whip with my staff. That's a non-negotiable.
Yep.
It sets the day up, and just checking in. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think needs to change in the real estate industry?
I think there's too many rules at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think the compliance has lost the plot, to be honest. They're
No,
certainly...
don't say that. I'd be out of a job.
Well, that's true. You keep it all in check. I think, I mean, the rules are there for a reason, and I get that. But there's so much, I think, as a business owner, like the supervision guidelines and there's a gift register and then how you're going to implement that and there's your checklist and everyone's got to sign off on it. And like there's...
And now AML.
And I just feel like as a business owner, it's so hard to keep track of everything and it's changing all the time. I completely get why it needs to be there, and I think they are getting rid of the cowboys, so to speak, of our industry by doing that. But sometimes I think it goes a little bit too far, and even, you know, the new rules with the tenants, how, you know, they can have 4 pets, and I think, I just don't know where, and, you know, you can't, the other property management one now is if you move a tenant on to sell the property and it doesn't sell, you can't re-let it for 6 months.
If you've terminated them.
If you've like that is, housing is something we're trying to get more of, and even it's going to be very interesting what happens with the budget if they make changes to, you know, the capital gains and everything else. I think sometimes that they get that wrong. But I think it's an amazing industry and it's only getting better, but I just think sometimes the focus is on some things that aren't necessary.
It's almost like you need to employ someone full-time within the business to be on top of all of that, as opposed to being licensee in charge.
100. Well, I have. I've just employed HR and compliance because I want to make sure that we're ticking all the boxes and doing everything right. And some of the rules, like, you know, if anyone rings up and inquires about a property and you give them a price, you have to
document that.
I mean, that is so not practical.
It's not.
We're on the phone,
you're in
driving,
the car.
like, come on. And
look, that is something that I've had many discussions with Fair Trading about. Not that I think Fair Trading will listen to this, but please scrap it. It's the same commentary across the industry. Like, it is virtually impossible to be able to record every single time you discuss price with someone, especially if someone's just fishing.
Exactly.
You know, the conversation ends the moment you give them the guide.
Yes.
But you're required to record that. So, yes, I think there's a lot of red tape.
Yes.
It keeps me busy.
I bet. I bet.
But, and I think there's a lot of subjectiveness around it all.
Yes.
You know, disclosures being one area, like something that you might feel comfortable disclosing, another agent might say that they don't need to. And I think buyers, there are a lot more buyers agents in the space. Buyers are a little bit more savvy. The market's shifted a little bit. And, you know, with everything coming with AML, you know, that's just that extra layer where you're going to have to verify your buyers and also that you are satisfied that where they're getting their funding from to purchase the property is legitimate. It just seems crazy.
It is.
Watch this space.
Yes.
Have you ever had any horror stories? Any time you've gone to an open and there's been something that shouldn't have been there, someone that shouldn't have been there?
I don't know if I could talk about
it.
Look, I've had lots of things happen over the years. Nothing too dramatic.
Okay.
You hear lots of stories about real estate agents in general, and I think that's something that I'm desperately trying to change, when the reputation of the agents and what people think about us. But I think if anything, that's where maybe at the moment the overpricing that is happening is horrendous. And I understand that people really want to get listings and get business, but by doing so much bad overpricing and low fees to get business, it's causing damage to the industry, but also to our reputation too. So I think when you say things to change, there needs to be something that can potentially tighten that up a little bit. because it keeps going round and round in circles where that reputation gets trashed because, you know, they haven't been honest with them or, yeah. But
so then you're having to come in as potentially the second agent in those circumstances where it's been overpriced.
Yes.
And then you have to reset your vendors' expectations and they're really angry.
Yeah.
That they've obviously spent a whole bunch on marketing already.
Yes.
They're about to spend it again.
100%.
And they were promised X amount.
Happens all the time, especially at the moment with what's going on, you know, in the world. And there's a lot of that going on at the moment.
Do you think that's just poor vendor management, or are they intentionally overpricing things so that they get the listing?
That
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's happening because especially if it's in an area where you're dominating in and you can bring to the table things they can't.
Mm-hmm. You are the table.
Yeah, so if they can't compete with that, they're going to tell them a high price and offer a low fee.
Yeah.
But that drags the industry down. But look, I get it. Everyone's got to start somewhere. We all want to work hard. But I just find that incredibly frustrating because then when people do come and see you and go, we should have listened to you, they've now gone through this journey where they're buggered, they're worn out, and they don't like real estate agents because they've had a bad experience. Yeah.
Are you finding that it's more men that are doing that or women?
Well, I played the fifth.
Okay, we'll move on. What advice would you give to other women coming into the industry?
I would say don't let fear hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
I think women are incredible agents. I really, really do. To back yourself and to have a go, but to lean on those relationships and lean on those skills. If you are a working mum and you are incredibly organised, then that's a tool that you really need to lean into. But yeah, don't let fear hold you back is what I say to the girls all the time. My number one agent at the moment, Crystal Sortel, she was blow drying my hair 3 years ago, and she was saying she was going to close her salon.
I knew this because my girlfriend who lives up here was getting her hair done. She'd have her weekly blow dries. And then she's like, but now she's gone to work for Lyndall and she doesn't do my hair anymore.
Yeah. She's a prime. Well, she was sitting there saying, I'm going to close the salon. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was thinking to myself, man, you would be a good agent. And long story short, I said, look, this is what I'm thinking. I need someone more to kind of assist me. She was my fourth employee. And she was really great on the social media and I wasn't having time. And, yeah, she went out on her own within maybe, I keep losing track of time, 12 months. And, yeah, she's on track to write $1.5 million.
Wow.
And she's only been in the industry for just over 3 years. She's a single mum. And she was so scared, as you would be.
Yeah.
And she managed to put that aside and really back herself. And I really backed her too.
Well, yeah, she had your backing as well.
And she's just incredibly grateful for it. She had it in her, but she needed to believe in herself. So I would just say, girls, give it a go.
Give it a go. What have you got to lose?
100%.
How do you juggle it all?
Not very well.
Not very well.
Oh, look, I work a lot. I think I've learnt to make quick decisions and, again, maximising my time. I think I managed to squeeze a lot into one day compared to others.
Yeah.
But they're big days. You know, I'm not checking out at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or even 7 o'clock. Try not to be like that all the time, obviously. Try and get home for dinner, but then it's back on the laptop. And it's hard.
You need to have an understanding family as well, right?
That's the thing. Yeah. Like, it's trying to make it all work. You know, mother's guilt is an absolute thing. Mm-hmm. And father's guilt.
Yep.
And I've definitely struggled with that. But I think when I allowed myself to do this for me, then it definitely felt a bit better, you know. But giving yourself permission to do that, it's taken a while. And you've just got to, with my kids are teenagers now, they just want to hang out with their mates. So timing is easier. But it's quality time is what I've learnt is really important. And one-on-one time with them is just magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any regrets?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people say to me, oh, I bet you wish you started salt earlier. But my kids were young and they needed me a lot more then. I think it would have been a lot harder. So timing-wise, do I have regrets? None that come to mind, no.
And what are 1 or 2 words that you would use to describe your journey from where you started to now?
Difficult.
Yeah?
It's bloody hard, I'm not going to lie. The last 6 to 12 months, as it's gotten a lot bigger, it's so much harder running a business, but it's because I'm selling so much as well.
Yeah, you're so involved.
Yeah, and trying to be the mum and trying to be the friend and trying to get to Pilates. So it isn't easy, but oh my God, it's worth it. It's incredibly rewarding, and I'm really proud.
So Shonda Rhimes, who created Grey's Anatomy Scandal, I was listening to a podcast of hers. She did with Alex Cooper many, many months ago, and she said something really interesting that kind of resonated with me, which was men brag, but women whisper. So I want you to brag a little bit. I want you to be comfortable bragging. So I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions. Okay. But first, it's chocolate. Fridge or pantry?
Fridge.
I agree.
Gotta
so
be
many
cold.
people have said pantry. I'm like, guys. Salt or savoury? Salty or savoury?
Savoury.
What car do you drive?
I've got an Audi Q7.
Handbag?
It's, what is that? Valentino.
Nice. Brand of shoes?
Christian Dior.
Lovely. Fave drink? Wine, cocktail?
All of them.
All of the above?
No. Probably a nice French rosé or a margarita.
Oh, that has been like the underlying themes. Oh, everyone's a Mar girl.
Yeah.
But have you ever tried a South Side?
What's that?
Oh, it's like gin and lime. So it looks like a margarita, but it's in a different type of glass, and it's so refreshing.
Sounds
it's not
good.
like on the normal classic cocktail list, but they will make it for you. So I challenge you to try South Side, and you might not go back to a Mar.
Okay.
Favorite overseas destination?
We just did Japan for the first time, which was amazing. We do an annual Bali trip, and I do love that because it's family time. Probably the favorite place that I ever traveled to back in the day was probably India.
Really?
It was just so incredibly interesting and unique. It was hard traveling.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, I just loved it.
Yeah. What's a place on your bucket list?
My husband and I have been married for 20 years next year. So I think we're going to do Maldives for that.
I did that. We did that last year with the kids.
Oh, did you?
Probably don't take 2 children under 4.
No.
But we went there for our honeymoon, and it was our 10-year wedding anniversary last year. So we said, let's go back. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's a long way to go, but it's beautiful. Favorite movie?
Oh, I used to watch with my dad the Bourne series.
The trilogy? Matt Damon? Is that Matt Damon?
Matt Damon,
So who's
I
your
love
favourite artist
them.
then? Movie star, singer, whoever?
Oh,
Who are you listening to in the car?
I like silence in the car.
Okay. Fair.
I know. My kids rip me off. I'm always on the phone.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because there's noise constantly. If I get in the car, it's the only bit of silence that I get. I've always been like, I love my Lady Gagas and my Kylie's, like a bit of an old school dork when it comes to music, to be honest.
Okay, so name the first thing that comes to mind when I say the following words.
Okay.
Woman.
Proud.
Real estate.
Life.
Newcastle.
Incredible city. Lifestyle.
How about the Newcastle Knights?
Sponsor.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
How about lawyers?
Sarah's the best. You need a good one. You are very good at what you do.
Thank you.
Very, very good.
So any other advice you've got for women in general, or anyone in real estate actually wanting to come into the industry or take that next level to get to the next stage?
I think, that creating a niche is really important. Grab a patch. Always the best way to start is grabbing a patch. Back yourself, but be willing to work hard. Like, real estate is a numbers game, and I say to my team all the time, the numbers never lie. And if you're making the calls and you're putting in the hard work, it will come back and find you. It's the same. The biggest thing at Salt is that integrity and that honesty piece. And I've got clients that will come back to me from 20 years ago because they had such a good experience. And building those reputations, do as you promise. If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it. But real estate's, it's a fabulous industry. You meet some amazing people. Every day is different, and the sky's the limit financially. The harder you work, the more you can earn. But it can also offer you flexibility. Like, as a mum, and half the girls in my team are mums, you can make that work. It's a beautiful industry where you can blend your family into it, and you can pick at what level you want to achieve. You don't have to be $500,000 or $1 million. I've got a semi-retired agent, and she might do, one a month, and that's fine. And I love that the industry allows you to do that.
Absolutely. Well, Lyndall, thank you so much for joining us on We Are the Table. And I'm so excited to continue to watch your growth, because Salt is really exciting.
Thank you.
And I'm
so
proud
much.
to be associated with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being amazing and helping me when I'm freaking out, and whenever I call you. You are amazing at what you do.
It's not about me, Shane.
I love working with you. So thank you for everything you do too.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Gorge. Bye.
Bye. This episode of We Are the Table was filmed and recorded at the Newey Studios in Newcastle and is proudly sponsored by Swab, award-winning commercial, family and real estate lawyers.